Hello, everyone. Dwight Stones, as always, with Larry Rawson. The SEC is arguably the best track and field conference in the country. Deference, of course, in any given year to the Pac-10 or the Big 12. But on the men's side, the Florida Gators are number 2 ranked in the country. The LSU Tigers number 3. On the women's side, LSU is ranked number 1, and they are always in the hunt for the NCAA title on both sides.
I think you should also keep an eye on a young lady who's just a sophomore at LSU who was not recruited by anybody else except Coach Dennis Shaver, and in 2 years he brought her Kimberlyn Duncan along to win the NCAA indoor 200 meters, and I think they expect big points from her.
Next on the track, the seeded final of the women's 4x100 meter relay. Texas A&M has the best time in the country this year, just off the SEC record held by LSU from 3 seasons ago. And the teams in this section from the inside out: Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Auburn, the 2-time defending champion, Arkansas, and Mississippi. And LSU, Kimberlyn Duncan, who is going to have a very busy day, is the anchor for this outstanding LSU Lady Tiger team.
Now, what you're seeing there do right there, other athletes do too. They make a mark on the track with tape as to when they should take off when they're receiving the baton from the incoming runner. They've got this all worked out in practice. They pace it off, a little bit of math training here, and they all know what to expect. And this young lady is about 5 feet 9 inches tall, a lot of legs, and she can fly.
Just outside of LSU in lane 6, 2-time defending Auburn Tigers. They'll be started off by Villani Robinson.
And Dwight, she will pass off to Joanna Atkins, who is the Auburn lady who 2 years ago won the NCAA 400 meter title, and that's her specialty. When they're fast enough to run the 4x1, the coaches often put them on a straightaway and not a turn.
This is South Carolina.
And then Arkansas out in lane 7. Shalise Williams will run the 200 and the 400 as well. She will anchor this 4x1 relay.
NCAA runner-up last year, a team of Wilson, Hackett, Alexander and Duncan.
So team implications here, always good to get things going. That's Lakia Brookins of South Carolina, who will be out in lane 4. She is going to lead off for South Carolina. We will also see her in the 100 meters.
Watch and see if the tiny countenance of Lakia Brookins gets the lead for South Carolina in the first lap. She gets out well. She's very quick, and she's probably the fastest sprinter easily here, so she should hand off first, given a good handoff by the South Carolina ladies. Should be handing to Vashti Bandy, who's a freshman. Arkansas in lane 7. In 5 is LSU. Let's see what happens to those teams. Arkansas wearing their red uniforms. The ladies are in lane 7.
And if Arkansas has any designs on winning the team title here at the SEC, which is a big stretch, they have to score some big points here and hope that LSU falters a little bit, as the men did. Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Auburn, Arkansas, Mississippi. Coming up to the first exchange, and so far it looks like LSU in the lead.
South Carolina passes off well as well, but you're right, Arkansas is out well. Look at South Carolina at the moment go.
But LSU right now handing off first, and that is Semoy Hackett to Rebecca Alexander, and the Lady Tigers leading through the turn. Arkansas still hanging on to second. South Carolina making a move. LSU passes cleanly. Kimberly Duncan on the anchor with plenty of room. Now the battle is for second between South Carolina and Arkansas. And here comes Auburn. Can Arkansas hang on? Yes, they do. 8 points for Arkansas, but LSU wins easily. 43.47. Not quite as fast as LSU has run this year, but a solid performance from front to back. And the Lady Tigers start out with 10 big points in the very first event on this final day.
And this is coming up to turn 2 as the handoff was occurred. They're running down the backstretch right now. Lakia Brookins gets South Carolina out well, but LSU with Semoy Hackett running extraordinarily well right in the middle of the track in lane 5, and she hands off to Rebecca Anderson, the junior. They get the stick basically first, and they are off and running and keep building through the turn right up to the anchor leg. The handoff here to Kimberlyn Duncan, and an excellent turn run by Rebecca Anderson. Alexander here to give really several steps lead for Kimberlyn Duncan, who floats away with those long strides. Look at the margin of victory. It's almost 1 full second that LSU dominates this race. Excellent performance by LSU, and Arkansas does get up for second.
And the winners are downstairs with Lewis.
All right, thanks very much. Well, Kimberlyn has a smile on her face, even though she has a busy day. Talk about that in a second. But how about the sticks that you guys had today? They look pretty sharp as you guys won by a big margin.
I think we all had good handoffs today. We actually didn't get any practice, but I think we had good handoffs, especially with us not having practice.
All right, so this is the first of 3 events today. You still have the 100 and the 200. How do you piecemeal your energy out throughout the day to make sure that you can give your team what they need?
I give each event my all, and just I know I have to go out there and do what I have to do, so I'm just going to be ready to go.
Sounds like 3 times your all, huh? All right, good luck today.
Thank you.
Okay, back to you guys.
All right, Lewis. Well, that was LSU's race to lose, which they did not do. But Shalise Williams on Arkansas's anchor, that is the story of this race, bringing her Lady Razorbacks to second place and 8 points. But it was all LSU, but almost a full second. Auburn, the 2-time defending champion, settles for third. So Florida picks up 4 points in that race. Still a 9-point advantage over Georgia, but LSU has moved up into a tie for second.